Live from University Gymnasium on the campus of Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, our final regular season Sports Channel MAC Game of the Week as the Chippewas of Central Michigan tangle with the Cardinals of Ball State. Hi again, everyone. I'm Michael Regai, along with my colleague Luke Whitty. Luke, showdown in Motown, MAC tournament time. It comes up next week. Charlie Coles and his Central Michigan Chippewas in at 6-9 on the year. They'd really like to pull off a major upset here and springboard themselves into tournament competition.
Well, there's no question about it, because Charlie Coles wants to make sure that his team does perform very well today. And he said, hey, these guys have played very well all season. They just have had a lot of letdowns. They've had 6 overtime games this season, losing 4 of them. So they have had a tough go of it. He wants to make sure that they have a good performance today.
When you talk to Ball State, foul, Paris McCurdy. Billy Butts and Paris McCurdy, Luke, I think a little bit out of sync on that run to the hoop.
There you see, that was a charge all the way. You could see it coming from 94 feet, Mike.
Second personal foul on Paris McCurdy. Curtis Kidd with 2 personal fouls. Terrence Colbert on the pull-and gun from the baseline. Snared out of there by Sean Parrish. Scott Nichols now going to try to push it a little bit for Ball State as they're up 4-9-5. Slow go, point productivity-wise in the early going here at Muncie.
Central Michigan not being able to take advantage of the situations that they have.
Well, Sanders Scott has given Scott Nichols open 17-foot jumpers, and he has buried dead center 2 in a row.
You can't leave him open from anywhere on the court.
4th point of the afternoon for Scotty Nichols. Ball State's lead is bumped out to 6, 11-5. Melvin Kelly unloads the triple and scores it down.
A little bit of misassignment there. Kelly found himself all by himself.
Wasn't bashful, put up the 3 and banged it out. Well, Melvin Kelly, his first 3 of the afternoon. Ball State's lead is 3, 11-8. Sean Parrish to answer, came up a little bit flat. Sanders Scott will come on the run for Central Michigan. The freshman with a better than 11 point per game average for Charlie Coles' club. David Carter working Billy Butts, takes him baseline, ran it off the window. Before he did, he got bumped and fouled by Butts on the way in. That's an excellent, they cleared the floor basically there, Luke, for David Carter, and he took Billy Butts right down to the hoop.
Well, David Carter is quick enough to get himself open into that situation, but boy, Billy Butts is really playing some nice defense this afternoon. He got himself down there. And I always talk about when somebody goes to the baseline that you have to put your foot on the baseline if you're that defensive player. That time when David Carter started down, that's exactly what Billy Butts was doing. He was going and putting his foot on that baseline and pushing him outward all the way down the court.
Dick Hunsaker has gone to his bench and gotten off the freshman we talked about in the pregame, Chandler Thompson, along with the senior shooter Greg Miller. Both of them offensive forces. Sanders Scott just has the basketball go right through his hands and out of bounds. Chandler Thompson comes in here on the year, averaging 11 points per ball game, and Greg Miller at about 8.5. So, as we said, Luke, Dick Hunsaker says, I think I need some punch on the floor to put the basketball in the hole.
Chandler Thompson also coming off Wednesday night victory over OU with 24 points and 11 rebounds, 5 assists.
Billy Butts finally gets on track as he bangs down the 18-foot jumper just a step inside the triple line. Carter Briggs for the triple, not going to be there, offline. Melvin Kelly will send it and fill it. Second consecutive 3-point bomb from Melvin Kelly. Cut the Ball State lead down to 2, 13-11. Kelly's looked good shooting that jumper. Stroked a couple of 20-foot bombs for Charlie Coles.
He only had 3 points their first meeting, so he is definitely overproductive with it.
Scott Nichols lost it. Last touch by Chandler Thompson. Turnover Ball State. There you get a good look at the enthusiastic one from Mount Pleasant, Charlie Coles.
And Charlie keeps coming. He is very enthusiastic and very animated. He is a real pleasure to be around.
Central Michigan, one of the biggest 3-point bombing outfits in the Mid-American Conference. In fact, they just set a new conference record. We'll try to get that graphic up for you again and take a better look at it when we come back. So Ball State's lead has been chopped to 2. Chippewas and Charlie Coles will come back just down 13-11. We're number 34 down under the hoop. Who is that big man that wore the uniform of the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Where did you get this?
Gentleman by the name of Luke Whitty. Watch him fill the lane. Didn't quite see the final finish there, but Whitty filled the hoop against the Yale Eli way back when.
That looked like an arcade film.
Central Michigan came up a little bit lacking on the offensive end. This time down, Billy Butts came up flat with that 19-foot jumper, but Curtis Kidd's on the glass to keep it alive for Ball State. Cardinals by 3. The alley-oop. Wow, but look at Chandler Thompson soar and ram it down home. We told you about him in the pregame. He can do it all. He is a glass eater. He gets up there in the window and really makes things happen.
Dick Hunsinger setting that up during the timeout, making sure that they use Chandler to the fullest of his potential.
3-point triple unloaded by David Carter. Won't go. Curtis Kidd on the breakout. Ran to the hole. Blocking foul on David Carter. That'll be his third.
David Carter not quitting, getting there just quite in time and getting the block foul.
Well, there's two gentlemen running the floor there with 2 personal fouls each. Now, if this goes offense, that's Curtis Kidd's third. So it's an important call that goes against David Carter, number 3.
One thing you want to do is take a look at the beginning of that with Chandler Thomas getting that rebound off the glass, turning and throwing a 2-hand overhead. That's like the man from Baltimore, Big Wes, used to do that all the time.
Wes Unseld.
You're right.
Curtis Kidd having his troubles at the free throw stripe this afternoon. That's 0 for 3 for the 6'9" senior out of Detroit. 60% free throw shooter on the year. Trying to get things squared away at that charity line. Dead center that time, so split the pair for Curtis Kidd. Ball State's lead is 5 at 16-11 over Central Michigan. Melvin Kelly want to go on the low block. Dennis Kahn, the freshman, stripped away Curtis Kidd. Spicer and Kidd on the breakout. In the middle, Chandler Thompson. Good up fake, had it stripped, whistle, and a foul is going to go on Dennis Kahn. Well, Central Michigan racking up the personals.
One thing that Ball State does so well on that fast break, you know, they had everybody coming in, and this is the trailer. Chandler's the trailer coming in there, and he's yelling that out as he comes down the court because he's the last man. He's the, I won't say the slow man because Chandler's very quick, but he's the last man coming down the court. And so many times the defense falls back in the paint, and that guy at that 15 to 10 foot area is wide open.
7'1", 230-pound senior Roman Mueller out of Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, is checked in for Curtis Kidd for Dick Hunsinger. Chandler Thompson, first-year performer here at Ball State, the sophomore at the line, 77% from the stripe. Adds 11 points per game to Dick Hunsinger's ball club. Ball State having their problems from the line in the early going. Chandler Thompson 0 for 2. David Carter thought about the 3. Melvin Kelly steps up and fires and fills it. Melvin Kelly with 8 quick points off Charlie Cole's bench. 2 threes and that 2-point hoop that he just lit up there. Mike Spicer through the paint. Miller for 3.
Spicer doing excellent job. You know, Miller standing out on the 3-point line all the way on the baseline. That was a tough pass to make.
David Carter, baseline right for Central Michigan. Chips trail by 6. Wheeling Carter tried to go up to the hoop strong and got banged around a bit by Chandler Thompson. That'll be Thompson's first personal foul.
David Carter here you see setting up on the block. I think people here in Muncie wanted a foul on that. On Carter, first of all. Unfortunately, he's on the line.
Well, David Carter and Melvin Kelly are making some things happen offensively for Central Michigan.
One of the things that Central Michigan needs to do is get some other people involved in the offense. They need Carter Briggs involved in it down low, and when Kahn's in there, they need to have him involved because they're really not doing anything in the middle. Ball State says, hey, if we can shut them off completely from getting to the 3-point, because Charlie Coles comes right out and says, hey, we have made a commitment. We have made this commitment to our 3-point shot, utilizing our players. And not too many coaches come out and say that because you want to have a 2-flow offense. You have to make the inside game work and the outside game work.
And that commitment to the three usually includes the left-handed sophomore, Jeff Marley. And Marley out of action with a very deep thigh bruise. He missed the contest against Kent State that Central lost by 5 on Wednesday night, 54-49, and out again this afternoon.
Kind of a freak accident. He went off the end of their court up in Mount Pleasant during practice and hit his leg on a bench. Deep bruises are hard to come by, but they really stay a long time.
Roman Mueller on the low block. He's going to fire one up and bang it home from about 10 feet away. He got a good look at the hoop, and the big man sent it down.
Roman Mueller, if he keeps that ball up above his head, he can do a nice job in there. Once he starts bringing it down, he has problems.
David Carter working one-on-one over there on Chandler Thompson. At the triple line, Carter Briggs. Carter will put it on the floor. Ball State's defense, as always, tenacious, one of the tops in the country. Carter striding the triple line. Shot clock now at 10. Central Michigan 40 feet out on the floor. Shot clock at 5. In trouble. Briggs for 3. Slapped around and saved. Sanders Scott loads up. Yes.
Central Michigan getting an offensive rebound, even though it was long. A lot of people may say, hey, what in the world is Briggs out there shooting those three-pointers? But boy, he can do it, Mike.
Now, Carter Briggs is a very excellent touch. Chandler Thompson, 16-foot jumper hard off that back iron. Emmanuel Cross drains it from about 19 feet away. Are they going to go 3? Yes, they are. The signal came late, so make it 20 feet away. It looked to me like Chandler Thompson, Emmanuel Cross said a foot on that triple arc, but Mike Stockner said no, it's 3.
You can see some of the depth that Ball State has. People coming off the bench, and time after time, they come off in waves.
24-16, Ball State's lead has been bumped up to 8. David Carter wants to take Chandler Thompson. Carter Briggs off that front iron flat. Chandler Thompson ran it down baseline. Ball State will attack it again. And up 8. Emmanuel Cross, Chandler Thompson, Mike Spicer, Roman Mueller, and this man with the basketball, Greg Miller, the 5 on the floor for Dick Hunsiger. Miller low blocks. Look at Chandler Thompson. Cross for the triple. Thompson to work the offensive end, and before he could go to the hoop, he got fouled by Carter Briggs.
Carter Briggs reaching in. That's one of those situations where the big man should not be reaching in. Hack.
We talked about his athleticism before the basketball game, Luke Whitty, and he is doing nothing to disappoint. He is a man that can really work that offensive end.
Watch him fly. I mean, he can come in there and do so many things. Well, he comes in off the bench and he has the alley-oop pass to him. How many times you see a 6'3" person being set up for the alley-oop?
Chandler Thompson at that free throw line, as we said earlier, 76% shooter. He hits his 3rd point of the afternoon. Ball State has bumped their lead out to 9, 25-16.
Chandler Thompson so quick. He also lettered in track in high school, and you can see why he was on that team.
Chandler Thompson buries a pair from the line. The lead is now 10. Charlie Coles and the chips to Central Michigan. Maybe going to have to wake that young man up with some offensive activity of their own. Ball State's lead is 6. Don't go away. We're coming back to University Gym in just a moment. On Sports Channel. Ball State by 10 as we go to work offensively with Central Michigan. The whistle came from out top, and the foul is going to go on Sanders Scott, his 2nd. That young man, if he grows up to be as big as his father, 7'1" Roman Mueller, Luke, we've got another big post player here at Ball State.
I think so. He's not real happy right now, but his dad's doing pretty well out on the court.
You got to watch Daddy. I think that's what Mom is telling him to do right now.
And don't run out there, right?
Take a look at Daddy. Watch what he's doing. Mike Spicer at the free throw stripe for Dick Hunsiger's Ball State Cards out of Central High up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Spicer been playing a roll time, a few minutes here and there, but giving quality minutes to Dick Hunsiger this year. Deep ball club is Ball State. And they are up 12, 28-16 as we've hit 6:50 left in the first half of play. Boy, they really pressure it out on the floor. One of the reasons defensively why they've been very superior in the MAC the last couple of years. Carter Briggs will fade from the baseline. Greg Miller had a hand in his face bothering the shot. Miller up top, puts it on the floor in trouble. Emmanuel cross. Count the 3.
Miller breaking down the middle. He got really pushed and shoved all over the place. I don't really see how he saw to pass that ball.
Ball State getting it done now from outside offensively, shooting it very, very well. Sanders Scott looking down low, trying to find something happening at the low blocks with Kurt Van Dusen in the contest now. 6'10", 230-pound sophomore for Charlie Coles, trying to counteract Roman Mueller's size. Central kind of stuck offensively, trying to get in sync, trying to get the flow right against this man-to-man defense of Ball State.
Central Michigan again in below 10 seconds.
Kirk Van Dusen just pinned up on the window and rejected, but referee Mike Stockner tells Roman Mueller, the block's good, Roman, but you banged Van Dusen with the body.
Here you see it again, the pass inside. Carter Briggs seed Van Busen, and Van Busen goes up. That's the way to tell him, Roman. Don't come in here.
Take the weak stuff out of here.
Yep.
I got a feeling guys in the NBA used to verbalize that to each other a little bit, Luke, huh?
Oh, I think that it was said once or twice. I'm sure that I heard that.
But just once or twice, that's all.
You know, anytime you can have an advantage, you take it. As you see Charlie Coles, he's trying to get some of his thoughts in to the coaches and people on his bench.
Sophomore Kirk Van Dusen hits 1 of 2 for Ball State, for Central Michigan. Scotty Thurman's now in. Scotty out of Oakland, California. Last time we saw Central Michigan against the Miami Redskins, Thurman did an outstanding job coming off the bench of Charlie Coles. 31-17, Ball State by 14, and trying to build on that as they're on the attack offensively. Roman Mueller kick it back three-point area to Chandler Thompson. Spicer looking at Mueller in the low blocks. I think Carter Briggs just got hit for holding Mueller. Well, Briggs, Dennis Kahn, Van Dusen, every one of Charlie Cole's big people, if you will, having a lot of trouble with Ball State's offense in the paint.
One of the things that Ball State does so well, as I mentioned earlier, that they have a lot of motion inside. They keep moving their big people around the paint from block to block, and they're picking for each other all the time. And that makes a very, very difficult defensive situation if you don't have the manpower to switch and to play off of that.
Roman Mueller, letter perfect on that first charity toss. Mueller, a 62% free thrower on the year. The big man with the goggles on this afternoon, Luke. We're seeing more of that, much more prevalent now around all levels of basketball.
Well, big men have an unkeen disadvantage because when a smaller guy comes up to play defense on him, usually the hands go up towards the eyes, and that is very, very blinding is a good word for it, but it's very uncomfortable when you have a finger stuck in your eye.
Mueller hit a deuce. Scotty Thurman trying to go to work offensively for Central Michigan. Sanders Scott, you can count the triple try. Well, Central Michigan needed that big time. They were down 16, and then Scott finally hit one of his specialties, the three-pointer, to crawl them back in a bit.
Well, Central Michigan cannot let themselves get down so much into the hole in this first half, so they're going to have to come, I think they're going to need a very strong push right here at the end of the first half.
Mike Spicer just lobbed baseline to Roman Mueller, who again had 3 maroon shirts around him. He got jostled on his way to the hoop, and he'll go right back to the line. Melvin Kelly on the personal foul. It's going to send Mueller right back to the stripe. Mueller, the big man, with 4 points on the afternoon, looking for 5 and 6. Lukey squares it up and sends it up rather softly for a gentleman that's 7 foot plus.
The last couple of years watching Roman Mueller mature has been a real pleasure because he has started to do some things very, very correctly. And there's some possibilities for him in Europe, and his basketball days are far from over.
You can't teach size, can you?
You cannot.
Melvin Kelly going to go baseline to Carter Briggs. Central Michigan back in that 15-point hole right now. They're down 35-20, needing to go to work. Kelly atop that triple line, being hounded by Chandler Thompson. Best defensive basketball team in the MAC wears white here in Muncie. The Maulers of Muncie, Ball State's Cards. They like to get down, get dirty, and play that D.
Central Michigan again.
Shot clock at side 10. Briggs went right by Mueller, though, and said, wham, take this.
Carter Briggs, boy, showing a nice strong move. Roman Mueller got caught standing straight up, and when you're playing defense for Ball State, you cannot stand straight up.
Curtis Kidd going to check back in with his 2 fouls off the bench of Dick Hunsinger. Mueller to try to answer Briggs. Came up a little bit flat. Last touch by Roman Mueller. They'll give it to Central Michigan. Curtis Kidd coming back in for Dick Hunsinger's Cardinals. Roman Mueller down. Well, let's see if Central Michigan can cut into the lead of the Ball State Cards when we get back. 35-22 as Carter Briggs takes us to break by going to the hoop for Charlie Cole. Yeah,
He's a good rebounder.
yes, he was. 35-22 again. Carter Briggs having trouble getting in the offense for Central Michigan. Kelly, good pick and roll with Briggs, who laid it deftly down off the window.
Kelly looking nice inside, seeing Carter Briggs breaking down, and that was an easy pass. You got to thread the needle on that one.
Briggs gave the basketball up and then went backdoor hard, and Melvin Kelly got it right back to him. 35-24. Ball State by 11. Scotty Nichols back in, the owner of a couple of hoops that helped Ball State to this early edge. Chandler Thompson had it stripped away by Melvin Kelly. Will he save? Yes, off Chandler Thompson, out of bounds. Excellent move.
Yeah, Kelly having a great game, good defensive, good heads-up basketball. When you can get into your situation and you have the ball and you're trying to save it, sometimes it doesn't always go in the right people's hands and it ends up for an easy hoop. That time he had the thought pattern to get it off the Ball State player.
Starting forward, Paris McCurdy is back, 6'7", 230-pounder, who teamed with Curtis Kidd at Cooley High School in Detroit. Charlie Coles and Dick Hunsinger are going to talk about it. We're going to come back to University Gym
In the MAC tournament.
and 6'7" Paris McCurdy out at the top of that 1-2-2. That's a big man to have to shoot it over.
Well, that makes for a very difficult shot selection.
Colbert with a shot clock at 5 just fills up a 3.
Well, it didn't seem to bother Culver very much, did it? Just shoot it up unconsciously.
Central Michigan trying to make a late run first half and climb back into this one. They are on a 7-0 run after being down 35-20, now 35-27. Billy Butts back in. Paris McCurdy up at that high block. Nichols. Low lob from Butts. Astray. Curtis Kidd couldn't run it down. Central Michigan with a chance to cut into this disadvantage of theirs even a little bit more. Colbert working on Butts. Scotty Thurman, a Melvin Kelly. Fill it for 3. That's 11 points on the afternoon for Kelly.
Excellent job. Paris McCurdy forgot that they were in a zone. He was looking for his man and dropped back in the paint, giving Kelly the shot.
3 triple tries have nestled through the cords for Melvin Kelly. Chandler Thompson, it just explodes baseline.
What a player to have on this Ball State team. Instant get us out of the hole, man.
Chandler Thompson with an 11-point per game average, working it this afternoon as he can take it inside with the best of them in the MAC for a 6'3" young man. 37-30. Shot clock is off. Game clock at 20 seconds left. Central Michigan looks to get something positive to take them into the locker room at halftime. They're only down 7, down 15 2 minutes ago.
Cardinals have gone out of their zone and going into a high-pressure man-to-man. Anywhere the ball is, anywhere the man is, go after it.
4 seconds. Sanders Scott has to force, never got it to the hoop, and that will be the end of the first 20 minutes here in Muncie. We've come to halftime. Dick Hunsinger, the first-year head coach, takes his Ball State Cardinals off with a 7-point lead over Charlie Coles and the Chips of Central Michigan. We're going to come back and get you all caught up with the numbers from this first half of action and more after this halftime regional break. In Muncie, Indiana, the MAC leading Ball State Cardinals on top of Central Michigan 37-30. What do you say we take a look, as we do every week, at educational life around the MAC with our Mid-American Conference Educational Institutionals.
My favorite professor is Dr. Richard Allen. I had him as a Speech 101 student.
This Ball State football player was named one of only 11 National Football Foundation and Hall of Fame scholar athletes in the country. These Ball State roommates were among only 40 American college students selected for an exchange program with the Soviet Union.
Ball State, Universitatea Gazea Pedagogica Dait na Vysotsea.
The crowd is really getting excited in Muncie, Indiana, as they're here for a Midwest premiere. All over the country, they've been waiting for this kind of university. And this is it, the Premier Teaching University.
We will give our stations along the network line a chance to take a regional break in the action. That's coming up a minute after we tell you that Dave Jamerson is now averaging 31.1 points per game. The great shooter from Ohio University, second in the NCAA. He continues to roll on after a 52-point explosion last Saturday night against Kent State. And our MAC Student Athlete of the Week is Sandy Kobolak from here at Ball State University. 3.43 GPA, an accounting major. Congratulations to Sandy. Does it both athletically and academically, and does it very well here at Ball State University. The sights are wonderful here at University Gym in Muncie, with that lovely young lady looking on at halftime. Now we will allow our network affiliates to get you caught up with a regional break in the activity. Ball State on top of Central Michigan. They're looking to clinch their second outright MAC regular season title today. They lead Central Michigan at halftime 37-30. Hi again, everyone. I'm Michael Regai, along with my partner, the former Ohio State and Cleveland Cavalier great, Mr. Luke Whitty. Luke, we talk about who is hot at tournament time as we wind up the regular season today in the MAC and get set for the showdown in Motown. There are a couple of basketball teams that have been playing very, very well as we look at the first half of the second half. Right at the top of that list, obviously, Eastern Michigan and Bowling Green. Bowling Green on a 5-game win streak after they started 4-6.
Well, Eastern Michigan and Bowling Green are both, I think, the two hottest teams, obviously coming from the worst records on the first half of the season, then coming up with Kent State and Ball State. It's amazing that all those teams are 5-2 coming into the last section of the MAC regular season tournament.
All right, so the Ball State Cardinals won the MAC regular season. They won the MAC postseason last year. Luke Whitty, do you think they are the team to beat, quite possibly, to not only win today, clinch the regular, but then next week in the showdown in Motown?
Well, I think they've got to be the obvious favorites when you take into consideration that they are such an explosive basketball club. Here you see it on your screen, but they're defensive prowess and their rebounding. They just do so many things correctly. They lead in the NCAA 4 different categories. They're second in scoring, they're third in field goal, defensive percentage, 6th in rebound margin, and 10th in scoring margin at 13.7.
All right, but now it is not a clear-cut, easy scenario for Ball State. They're going to meet with some stiff competition along the way. Let's say the Ball State Cardinals get into that championship game, Luke. Who do you like as a ball club that maybe could give Dick Hunsinger or his club all kinds of trouble next week in Detroit?
Well, I think the team that's going to give them possibly the most trouble is Kent State. The Golden Flashes come in. They react extremely well in close basketball games. They're a pressure ball club. They play well under pressure. Of course, if you get down to a tight game, Kent State is just phenomenal at the line. You don't know who to foul because they all shoot foul shots extremely well. They're strong, controlled basketball players, and Jim McDonald has just put together a very solid basketball team.
All right, so Luke Whitty likes the Kent State Golden Flashes to possibly go into Cobo Arena in Detroit and come up with a MAC postseason championship and the NCAA bid, the automatic bid that goes with it. How about me? Well, I'll tell you what, Luke. I'll give you my choice to win the MAC tournament next weekend. I like Jim Larinaga and his Bowling Green Falcons. Why? Here's why. I just said it a moment ago. They're on a big run. They're 5-0 in their last 5 games. I tell you, that means a lot going into tournament time. They've got a big one with Kent State tonight on the road. But when you talk about transition games and floor balance in the MAC, I think they are unquestionably the best. With Clinton Venable running the floor with athletes like Tommy Hall, Joe Moore, Billy Johnson, Steve Watson, Kirk Whiteman. They maybe get up and down the 94 feet better than anybody in the conference. Their rotation, Jim Larrañaga could go 10 deep. Now, Tommy Hall had surgery on his nose this week, but he should be ready by MAC tournament time next week. Their depth has been outstanding. They shoot free throws just about as well as Kent State. I like the Bowling Green Falcons to come up potentially with the MAC postseason championship.
I don't think there's any question about it. Any one of those three teams can come out with it, because you start pointing fingers at positive aspects of basketball game. Ball State has it, Kent State has it, and Bowling Green. They have some very, very positive things that they do very well on a basketball court, Mike.
Well, what does all this mean? It's going to be a tremendous weekend next weekend in Detroit, Michigan. The showdown in Motown. Be a part of the MAC tourney. Ball State here by 7 over Central. We're coming back. Muncie, Indiana. The Ball State Cardinals were up 15 in the first half, but a Central Michigan run late in the first half has pulled Charlie Coles and his Chips back to within 7, 37-30. Well, taking a look at our all-MAC team that Luke Whitty and I decided to kind of go with unofficially, Luke. Let's take the forwards first of all. How about Paris McCurdy right here from Ball State and Rick Blevins out of Kent?
Well, you think I look at Paris McCurdy as the strong rebounder. He can clean the boards. He does so many things well inside. Rick Blevins, I call him the utility player because he can go inside, he can go outside. Those are very strong forward candidates right there.
Jim Havrilla's been the big man in the middle over at Western Michigan this year. For first-year coach Bob Donewald has done an outstanding job scoring for that ball club.
I like Jim Havrilla basically because he is the true center in the MAC. He squares up well in the basket. He plays with his back on the blocks, and he just does so many things right. His turnaround jump shot, and fundamentally, he is a very sound basketball player.
Say the name. Just say the name. Dave Jamerson. It means instant offense. He is one of the very best in the Mid-American Conference. The point guard, Harold Walton from Kent. I'm going to put a little note in for both Clinton Venable of Bowling Green there, Lorenzo Neely, and Dink Whitaker out of Ohio University. Great point guards this year in the MAC.
The thing of it is, you can't leave a lot of people, you know, when you take any situation and you choose a team, an all-star team, you have to leave some people out of that are very, very good basketball players. We have Joe Moore as a sixth man.
Joe Moore, the do-it-all, the athlete, the greyhound for Jim Larrañaga's Bowling Green Falcons. He rounds out Luke Whitty and Michael Reckey's unofficial MAC first team this 89-90 basketball season. Halftime, Central Michigan shooting 45% on the from the floor, 10-22. Ball State really heating it up, and they started to, Luke, with that second team in there with the likes of Emmanuel Cross and Chandler Thompson.
Well, I don't know if you can really call that the second team. It's a second team today, but you can't call those people second team basketball players.
How about the job Melvin Kelly's done off the bench of Charlie Coles? Hit 3 trifectas in his 11-point first half outburst.
Kelly has played a great floor game. Then you look at Ball State, Roman Mueller coming in, 6 points, 4 from the foul line, a good turnaround jump shot inside. Chandler Thomas adding 6, cross 6, and Butts 5. And
only Billy Butts started the ball game there for Ball State's Cardinals of Dick Hunsicker. Ball State by 7 when we get you back to wind up halftime after this regional pause. In the first half, 57% shooting for Ball State, 12 of 21 from the floor, keynoted that run. Well, Luke, we talked about the 6,000 plus here in University Gym being all revved up about their Ball State Cards. Is it a lock at halftime? Well, the Cards have lost only twice when leading at the half. Indiana State and Memphis State managed to get Dick Hunsicker's crew after Ball State had built a lead, but MAC regular season championship can be theirs outright for the second year in a row. And Luke, how long ago do we have to go back to pick up when the last time that was done in the MAC?
1962 and 1963. That is 27 years of when somebody has not won it outright. The thing of it is, Ball State has just such a super team. You come into Muncie and play the last 33 games that they have played here, they have won 30 of them. The 3 games that they lost were a 1 point, and a 3-point.
We start the second half. Excellent lob going inside from Terrence Colbert to Carter Briggs, and Paris McCurdy got caught backdoor picking up the personal foul. That's going to be number 3 on Paris McCurdy.
And Dennis Kahn just didn't quite have the handle on that basketball. Should have had that one.
We'll check the 5 that have come back for both ball clubs. Terrence Colbert just stepped out of bounds as Scott Nichols was bothering him, jostling him along the sidelines. And Colbert, quite frankly, lost touch of what he wanted to do and was worried more about Nichols bumping him.
I think that's exactly right. You have to concentrate on the thing that you're doing. You can't worry about what's going on around you. Just concentrate on the ball.
Points in the paint first half go to Ball State. 8-4 bench scoring. Ball State 23-12. Dick Hunsaker's second line, as Luke pointed out, many of them have started at one time or another during the year, but did an outstanding job putting the basketball in the hole. Paris McCurdy did not even attempt a field goal in the first half, and Curtis Kidd came up with just 3 points.
Here we see Central Michigan using a 2-3 zone now. So it's kind of interesting. Here we come down to the last couple weeks of the MAC, and a lot of the teams are using a zone. The Chippewas said, talking to Charlie Cole, that Kent State used a zone against them entirely Wednesday night.
Dennis Kahn has got some serious foul trouble now. Just less than a minute into the second half, the 6'8 freshman got hit, as you see there, leaving the floor with his 4th personal foul. David Carter had to check right back in. Central Michigan's got to go very, very small. Luke, is that a big disadvantage trying to control Kidd and McCurdy in the paint?
Well, I think it's a very big disadvantage because of the way Ball State works well in the paint.
As Scott Nichols is saying, you're going to give me this uncontested 15 to 18 footer, I am going to bury you, Chippewas. He's hit 3 for 3 now.
Scott Nichols is somebody you just can't leave open, but that goes to say for just about any of the Cardinals.
6 points on the afternoon for Nichols. The lead is back up to 9, 39-30. David Carter trying to work the paint, did strong. Carter then tried to stick one up on the window, wouldn't fall. Billy Butts out the other way for Ball State. Billy Butts, Scott Nichols, Sean Parrish, McCurdy, Curtis Kidd, same 5 that started. Nichols thought about it. McCurdy low block. Crashing to Sean Parrish. Terrence Colbert will snatch it out and head the other way for Central Michigan. Sanders Scott squaring up on that triple line, trying to get his feet set. Carter in the air. Not there. Easy offside rebound to Paris McCurdy. Ball State will come on the offense leading by 9. 12-3 in the MAC. The Cardinals looking for a 13-win MAC regular season. That would send them into the tournament as potentially the favorite. Nichols one more time. No. Parrish, the muscle baseline taken away. Offensive foul on senior Sean Parrish.
Sean Parrish coming in there and just kind of putting his head down and bullying his way in. Here you see him getting the rebound. Head goes down. I'm going after it. And whoever gets in my way is on the floor.
First shot of the afternoon that Scott Nichols has missed, as we said. Central Michigan's decided to give it to him, as Ball State gives the 18-foot J to David Carter, who cannot connect. Nichols trying to push it a bit. McCurdy wants his running mate, Curtis Kidd, in the low block, but they'll reverse it and get back into the offense.
Man down.
Butts in the paint. Paris McCurdy ran it up, and he got fouled before he could muscle it up to the hoop. Well, the fouls are just piling up astronomically on Charlie Cole's ball club.
Well, the Chippewas are going to find themselves in situations where they're playing people that are really out of position. And if the foul troubles continue, the woes of Charlie Cole.
Paris McCurdy at the line for Ball State, 6'7", 230-pound, one half of the Beef Brothers here in Muncie.
They pulled the string on that foul shot. There was no follow through. Get that ball high, follow through, and crack the wrist. They always said your wrist should look like a dead chicken when you're done. There it is.
A dead chicken.
That's what I heard. I don't know. See, most of my coaches came from the country, so.
I was just going to ask you, is that a Eastern Ohio synonym, so to speak?
I think it's just Ohio, right?
All right. 40-30. Baseline, David Carter not there. Ball State by 10 and with the basketball. Billy Butts, good dish. Paris McCurdy went flying to the hoop, but had it stripped away. Excellent move by Melvin Kelly, who just checked back in. Kelly got back down the floor and broke up McCurdy's strong move to the hoop. Watch it.
Here you see Billy Butts not even looking. It's a good camera angle. He did not look, did not see anything. Billy Butts, just a tremendous basketball player, wants to be a coach, and that's what he's looking for.
We've got a regional break in the action. also to the Mid-American Conference. 40-30, Ball State by 10, and with the basketball, Scott Nichols along with Billy Butts running at that guard tandem for Dick Hunsker. Excellent entry. Curtis Kidd couldn't finish it, so he'll do it again, and this time go to the stripe off yet another personal foul. Curtis Kidd and Paris McCurdy are struggling this afternoon offensively, Luke.
Yeah, they don't seem like they're quite up tempo. Here you see a good, nice rebound, put back in. This again, of course, he was fouled. That kind of takes away from your ability to get some things done. But not quite on target this afternoon. I mean, we have seen them play some unbelievable basketball games, and the powers that they have in and around the boards, keeping that glass clean all afternoon long.
Curtis Kidd, who in the first half had some woes, just 1 for 4 from the charity stripe, starts things out a little bit better in this second stanza. Hits his first of 2. 1 of 3 Ball State Cardinals averaging double numbers in scoring for Dick Hunsaker. A lot better rotation, a lot better follow-through. Looked much better, i.e. the results look much better. 42-30 Ball State by 12 as they bump things back up. Central Michigan still scoreless. We're almost 4 minutes into the second half. Ball State on a 5-0 mini run to take their 7-0 lead up to 12. Central Michigan 450. Let's see if David Carter can break that no off the back iron. On the run is Scott Nichols looking to find McCurdy or Kidd. Low block. Billy Butts instead. Sean Parrish baseline. Curtis Kidd fading. Back iron. Curtis Kidd's getting frustrated. He grimaces as he comes back down the floor. Knows he should bury that, Luke. Carter again. Not there. Curtis Kidd to Paris McCurdy. There's a Detroit connection. Looking forward to the showdown in Motown next week.
I think Kidd's grimace just vanished with a nice pass inside to Paris McCurdy breaking to the hole.
Well, Kidd barely let that basketball graze his fingers before he knew his buddy was running the floor, Paris McCurdy. David Carter running Curtis Kidd to the window and filling it up.
David Carter working very hard, trying to get his ball club back on track here. He is penetrating, going through the hole, just working and trying to do anything he possibly can to get Central Michigan back into this one.
Ball State by 12, 44-32. They run with Billy Butts, Scott Nichols, Sean Parrish, who just lost the basketball momentarily, Curtis Kidd, and Paris McCurdy up front. David Carter, Sanders Scott, Melvin Kelly, Carter Briggs on the floor. Paris McCurdy strong through the middle and got the favorable roll. Look, you know what's ironic about this? Do you remember the last 2 times we were here? Both Paris McCurdy and Curtis Kidd against Bowling Green and Toledo in January struggled in the first half. Second half of both games, Dick Hunsaker made sure they got the ball in the low block. Remember that both times,
yep.
And they both went to work.
I think the thing of it is Dick Hunsaker knows his basketball players very well. At halftime, he says, okay, it's time to settle down. Let's work the ball into these people so they can start getting their game into sync. Everything is a rhythm. Everything is a flow.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Dick Hunsaker wants to do in the second half.
Well, Paris McCurdy and Curtis Kidd have both done things down on those low blocks that have gotten some points for Ball State. They're up 46-32 and on a 9-2 run to open the second half. Freshman Sanders Scott. Sweet left hand for the young man who averages 11 a game. No fear going through the paint. Offensive foul, Curtis Kidd. That's an excellent defensive stance from Carter Briggs right at the timeline.
Most centers don't look up court that well. He set himself up exactly where he was supposed to. Ram.
Well, both ball clubs are going to talk about it with their respective coaches. We'll come back with Ball State up 12, but not having yet put Central Michigan away. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Don't miss the excitement. Sports Channel can bring it to you Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. Central Michigan back to work in the maroon and gold. Terrence Colbert at that triple line. Sanders Scott again through the paint. And he's going to draw the blocking foul on Curtis Kidd. Quickly, 2 personal fouls on Curtis Kidd. That'll be number 3 on the contest for Kidd. Sanders Scott now saying, I'm going to go through the paint a few times, Luke.
Well, he's going in there. Good control of his body. Yeah, you take a kid that size, being a freshman going in with a tall timber, you got to think twice about that, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 personal fouls on Curtis Kidd. He's picked a couple of them up in just the last moments of action. Emmanuel Cross getting ready to check back in for Dick Hunsaker. Sanders Scott, very proficient free throw tosser, is at the line. Scott averages 11 points per game, just a freshman. Charlie Cole's very, very high on this young man, Luke, and he is an 80% free throw shooter as you look at Emmanuel Cross back in for Curtis Kidd.
We talked about Sanders Scott at the top of the show. One of the things, he was leading the MAC in three-point percentage of 48.4%, and he hasn't taken very many at all this afternoon.
Sanders Scott has a freshman running mate now in the backcourt with him, and that is Ray Schreider. Schreider at 5'11", along with Sanders Scott, in all Frost backcourt. Miller's triple not there as Greg Miller checked back in. He tried to save it, but stepped out of bounds.
No, the call was right. Miller is arguing that he was inbounds, but if you jump from out of bounds and inbounds to hit the basketball and you do not touch the floor first, you are considered out of bounds.
Well, Central Michigan, they are pesky, Luke Whitty. They're 6-9 in the MAC, but they say, hey, we aren't not going away and folding up and playing dead for Ball State.
No, they expect everybody to come in here and do that, and Central Michigan is hanging right in there.
Ray Schreider, spinning baseline. He just traveled. The young freshman, that's a freshman mistake, as Charlie Cole says, Ray, think when we go to the hoop like that.
I think Charlie's saying, shoot when you go to the hoop.
Mike Spicer checks back in for Scott Nichols. Well, the freshman backcourt of Central Michigan, Ray Schneider, along with Sanders Scott, will now look at Mike Spicer and Billy Butts. Emmanuel Cross, as we mentioned, back in for Ball State. Cross is a good one. Chandler Thompson wheeling baseline. You can count it with a foul. You don't teach that, Luke Whitty.
That is pure instinct, natural, raw talent. Chandler comes in here going to his right, coming back to his left, pump, and even fakes it up on the glass. You don't see a lot of people in the NBA that can make moves like that.
Great first step and the explosion, and then once you get there, Luke, to finish it with power and strength up on the window.
Well, he is tremendous. I am really excited about the ability of watching him over the next 4 years and how he's going to progress even further.
Chandler Thompson with that three-point play in the books now with 9 in the afternoon. The lead is back to 13, 49-36. Terrence Colbert running to the hoop. Tipped up. Schneider wouldn't go.
Well, when you're 5'11" and try to tip from 4 feet off the ground, that's a little tough.
Greg Miller up pump, and he'll put it down. Off the dish from Mike Spicer. Ball State now on a quick 5-0 run to build their lead back to 15, 51-36. Crowd is into it now, 6,000 plus. Listen to it.
They can feel it coming.
We're talking second consecutive regular season MAC title here, folks. And of course, being the team that everybody will have to beat for the second straight year in Cobo Arena next weekend. 51-36, Carter Briggs, who just misfired on a three-point bomb. Now the defense comes up again as Ball State looks to push Central out on the floor. Nowhere to go. Sanders Scott, they've got to reset it.
One thing that Ball State does so well on defense is they push people out at what we call the elbows. When people start penetrating, they push them out to the sidelines.
Chandler Thompson, watch this. Spinning to the hole, fading in the air. Rammed up by Miller, no. That is going to be a technical foul for hanging on to the rim. Mike Stockner's calling it. Dick Hunsaker just exploded off his bench.
Well, I think he has every right to be. I don't like that call myself, and I really don't disagree very often. Miller came in here just to get the tip, and I think it was an accident that they hung on the rim. Let's see it again.
Yeah, and let's explain. If you're hanging on the rim to protect yourself from a fall, it is not a technical foul.
He didn't even really hang on the rim that long either. So now you have Central Michigan taking the foul shots and then getting the basketball out of bounds.
Mike Stockner made the call, made it emphatically. Sanders Scott at the line hits both the techs for Central Michigan.
Dick Hunsaker just called Miller over to the sidelines. He said, forget about it, don't worry about it. The call was not right. Patted him on the seat and sent him off the court.
Well, Central Michigan with a chance for a 4-point run here after Ball State had started to explode on them a bit. 51-38, 11:30 left. Don't go away. Central Michigan, who setter pesky. Carter Briggs, baseline, Sanders Scott. Greg Miller stepped out off the Carter Briggs pick and bumped Terrence Colbert. Paris McCurdy will check back in. Luke, take us through that pick.
Well, the pick and the step out. Miller, as Ball State, as I said, they want to push him out at the elbows. He jumps out. It was what's called a jump switch. Put himself right in line there, but he was moving his feet. Miller gets called with a foul.
Paris McCurdy back for Greg Miller, the senior. Miller out of Yorktown, Indiana. And Luke, last night, Yorktown got knocked out of sectional play here in the Ohio high school ranks by
Billy Butts' team.
Billy Butts' alma mater, Northside High here in Muncie. Chandler Thompson creating trouble. Basketball went over and back. Turnover on Central Michigan. Sanders Scott, Carter Briggs got signals crossed.
All kinds of things going on out there. That isn't, I don't believe that's cross signals. That's just a tenacious defense that Ball State is putting against Central at this point.
All right, let's check the 5 for Dick Hunsaker's club. Emmanuel Cross along with Mike Spicer, Billy Butts, Chandler Thompson, and Paris McCurdy. Now he goes small, he being Hunsaker. Butts, the tray, count it. That has been missing from the Ball State arsenal this year, Luke. Last year, Butts was on the money. He struggled this year.
Now, Billy has had all kinds of trouble. In fact, one particular game, he went 3 for 20.
Billy Butts triple explodes the lead to 16. Carter Briggs wheeling in the paint. Basketball high and up on the glass, and we have got a whistle and a foul, and it's going to go on Ball State's, I believe, Billy Butts. Yes, it is. So Butts will get hit with a personal. Watch Carter Briggs go strong toward the hoop.
That was a nice move, except he brought it back to his right hand. You should stay with your left once you start going with your left.
Central Michigan will keep it. 10:30 left. They're down 16, 54-38. And now what has become a noisy university gym on the campus of Ball State. McCurdy all over Kelly and just stripped him away. Possession arrow says Ball State. There is tenacity. Paris McCurdy just flat out muscled Melvin Kelly.
You can tell how much this basketball game really means when you see the big men throwing their bodies on the hard court, going after the ball.
Paris McCurdy is notorious for that, out on the floor, away from the hoop, causing trouble and muscling people.
Yes, he is, and he is strong enough to muscle a lot of people.
Look out now, Billy Butts steals the flow.
Once Billy Butts starts lighting up, uncontrollable, he can do a lot of damage to a lot of teams.
He's a shooter, he's a scorer, and it sometimes comes and goes, but he's got it going right now. 5-second call against Terrence Colbert of Central Michigan. Did not advance the basketball while being contested. You get a good look at the crowd here as the Cardinal mascot tries to pump up the volume as it is here in Muncie. Manuel Cross looking low block to Chandler Thompson. The wheel, the spin. McCurdy with muscle, had it blocked, and he'll go to the line. Carter Briggs on the foul.
Carter Briggs again, all he has to do is go straight up with his hands, and he tried to go for hitting that ball into the cheap seats, and sometimes it just doesn't work that way.
Well, he got some leather, but he also got some flesh, Paris McCurdy. Good look at Charlie Coles.
Yeah, we've seen him happier. Yeah,
no question about that. You know, Central Michigan, Luke, can go anywhere from
6 to 8.
Bowl about 6 to 8 in this MAC tournament seeding. That's correct. Toledo's Rockets, another team right there with Central Michigan, who also could go anywhere from 6 to I believe 7 in Toledo's case.
Well, I think the situation is Central Michigan definitely doesn't want to end up in that 8th position because that means they start with Ball State.
That's right. Cardinals will play the AC next Friday. Stolen away, Emmanuel Cross. Excellent defense. Spicer gonna pull up and hit the J? No, not there. Had Paris McCurdy filling the lane, but Spicer went hard off the back iron. Underneath 10 left, Central Michigan in an 18-point hole, 56-38 to Ball State. Look at Paris McCurdy out on the floor, just all over Melvin Kelly. That young man works it hard, Paris McCurdy. Stripped away off the leg of Kelly. You know, I can't give him any more accolades. To talk about kids who only play the offensive end, not this guy.
No, Paris McCurdy is 94 feet and 40 minutes a night.
Chandler Thompson hangs, didn't get it, but drew the personal foul on Carter Briggs. When Chandler Thompson gets in the paint, there is just a plethora of things he can do with the basketball offensively.
You see him do so many things so well. We had talked about his move out on the court and then getting into the paint and going up with a strong, forceful move. Then you have a situation where he can go up and he hangs so long. He is one of those, and I don't want to relate anybody to Michael Jordan, but you know, Michael Jordan has such a terrific hang time. Chandler Thompson is one of those guys that has the ability to hang longer than most of us.
Paris McCurdy working low. Play that high-low game with Billy Butts and Chandler Thompson. Look at the young man go to the hoop. Got bumped on the way in. That's going to put him at the line. But when they spread things out for him, he becomes like a 747 rumbling down the runway.
Well, here you have a situation where Kelly didn't even have a chance to react well. You know, he was in a situation where he tried to put defensive pressure on him, but he just was in a setting where Chandler is so quick, he didn't have a chance to react.
Melvin Kelly has just fouled out. His 5th personal foul. He takes 11 points to the bench with him. Kelly was a force. He hit 3 3-point shots in the first half.
Oh, he did a tremendous job. Kept him in the basketball game that first half.
Chandler Thompson on the 1-in bonus for Ball State. The lead could be 20 if Thompson connects here. It will be the largest of the afternoon for the MAC regular season seeking championship Ball State Cardinals. 58-38, Chandler Thompson, dead center perfect, 2 for 2 from the line. Sanders Scott bangs down a triple. Rattled every side of the iron, Luke, but the bottom line is it fell through.
And that's all that counts, not the rim.
Rim can be your friend sometimes. Sanders Scott just jostling Emmanuel Cross. It'll send Cross to the line. Emmanuel is 6'1", 205-pound junior out of Westinghouse High School in Chicago, Illinois. A lot of famous NBA alums out of that high school, like Mark McGuire from the Detroit Pistons. That city produces a lot of major college and then professional talent.
Emmanuel Cross, really a delightful young man. Also, he sat out last year, did not play to concentrate on his academics. You have to give him a lot of credit because taking a year off is not easy.
Emmanuel Cross buries 2 out of 2 from the line where he does nothing to hurt a 66% free throw percentage. The lead is 19, 60-41. Emmanuel Cross, just like Chandler Thompson, that athletic build, strong, linebackerish tight end style. Cross 6'1", 210. Thompson 6'3", 220. David Carter spinning in the paint. Got the roll. David Carter creating some things offensively.
David Carter has done that about 3 or 4 times this second half, and that's the first one he's gotten to fall.
David Carter coming off a explosion in the first half that did not net him any points, although he had the basketball quite a bit. Paris McCurdy could not come up with a pass from Billy Butts. Turnover, Ball State. The basketball goes out of bounds with 7:41 left in the contest. Ball State smelling championship. Little Roman Mueller's son knows better than anyone what dad can get accomplished. Of the Mid-American Conference and Sports Channel Ohio is strictly and solely prohibited. Ball State by 17 as we go to 7:20 left in the contest. David Carter wanted to run his way up to the hoop, but he got bumped and drew the foul on the way in from Chandler Thompson.
Chandler Thompson got the foul, but Paris McCurdy was waiting back there, lurking in the shadows, and just threw that ball out of bounds.
Luke, talk about that for anybody to beat Ball State. All right, so you're out on the floor, and there's a perfect example. You can spread the floor and maybe beat somebody out front. Talking Paris McCurdy, Curtis Kidd, Greg Miller, even Roman Mueller when they're in there. That backside help is strong and powerful.
Well, and they're so quick too, and they can get across the lane in .01 seconds. And when you have people like that, That makes it very, very difficult. A team that comes in and is able to beat Ball State is able to go in and penetrate and get it to the open person.
And not many have been able to do it.
That's right.
David Carter goes 2 for 2 from the line to pull Central Michigan back within 15, 60-45. Central's now going back man, and they're starting to rack up the personal fouls as Sanders Scott has a little too much of the forearm of Emmanuel Cross.
Look at the look on that face. How can I be called for that? Dick Hunsinger, good look at him. What a job he has done this season.
Yeah, let's talk about this young man. You know, let's face it, and we could say it now, last game of the regular season, this guy was in basically your typical no-win situation here, Luke. I mean, he was expected to come in here with this tremendous abundance of senior talent and win the MAC. And let's face it, nothing else would have been acceptable.
We came in here and did a game when they were 9-3, and Dick Hunsinger said, I've already lost 3 more games than I was supposed to. So that's the kind of pressure he's getting from Muncie, and the people in Indiana love winners.
Carter Briggs trying to shoot Central Michigan back into it. Can't buy the triple try. 60-45. Ball State by 15. And with it as we go inside. 7 minutes left. Ball State smelling it now in the stretch run. Chandler Thompson loaded up. Not there. And Paris McCurdy just reached in on Terrence Colbert as he tried to come away with the basketball for Central Michigan.
Colbert gets the rebound, and what happens is that Paris McCurdy just took a little slice at him as he went by. Here you go. Whoop.
Well, you don't like that, Luke, because when we say 94 feet away, explain what that means.
Well, that means that you're walking all the way down to the other end of the court to shoot foul shots in. It's a backcourt foul, and if you have a backcourt foul, coaches just cringe like crazy over that.
In other words, Central Michigan was 94 feet away from even thinking about putting anything on the board there.
You got it.
Yeah. This is Terrence Colbert at the free throw line for Central Michigan. Could not connect on the front end of the one in what would have been the bonus. The Ball State's going to come away and facing a little bit of half-court trap now. Mike Spicer will beat that as he angles down the corner. Billy Butts rolled over the iron. The freshman, or rather the sophomore, Chandler Thompson, went hard to the offensive glass and drew the foul.
Chandler Thompson, this is where you have a smart basketball player. He knows the angles of the floor. He sees the flow going down the left-hand side of the floor, so all he does is work himself around in position for that rebound, not really letting anybody bother him or nobody's really paying attention to him. When that ball comes off the glass, he's there.
Billy Butts, who had the hot hand before he just misfired on his last shot attempt, is going to go to the bench. Sean Parrish checks back in. We're talking about Dick Hunsinger a moment ago. He's already the winningest first-year coach in Ball State history, having racked up 20 wins as opposed to just 6 losses.
No violation.
Charlie Coles there on the central bench knows a little bit about winning himself. But Hunsinger is just 1 win away, possibly just 6 minutes and 13 seconds away from becoming the winningest rookie head coach in the 44-year history of the MAC. Sanders Scott will need some 3-point bombs along with his buddies David Carter and Carter Briggs to try to shoot Central Michigan back into it. Turnover on Central Michigan is on that baseline. Scotty Thurman, the junior out of Oakland, California, just traveled with it.
Thurman, as you mentioned before, had a terrific game against Miami up at Mount Pleasant, and they're going to need some action out of him real quick the next 6 minutes.
3-quarter court now. Trap action from Central Michigan as they trap that sideline, but Mike Spicer beat it. Spicer baseline in the middle. Look at Thompson hand.
Do we need to say more?
Not a word need be said. That speaks for itself. Chandler Thompson. Terrific performer. Curtis Kidd almost came up with a tremendous steal.
Sanders Scott had no idea what to do. He got himself trapped down in the corner. And Curtis Kidd, excellent defensive.
Chandler Thompson working on a 15-point afternoon, says our statistician courtside, Paul Evans. Baseline, Thurman. Boy, he wishes he had that one back. Emmanuel Cross, lob it up, Chandler Thompson. Curtis Kidd will clean it up and hit the putback.
There you see the Cardinals at best, playing together, senior basketball club. They know where everybody's at on the court, putting it down.
The roll has started here in Muncie, 66-45. Thurman in trouble baseline. Sanders, Scott for the triple. He can hit him. He can hit him with the best in college hoops. Almost 50% shooters. Luke has brought out throughout the day shooting three-pointers.
16 points on the afternoon.
All alone, Emmanuel Cross. Chandler Thompson found him, and that was easy.
Cross just down there in the corner, waving his hand, saying, "You got me. I'm open."
68-48. The Ball State lead is 20, as all it is now is a matter of time. Carter trying to create. Ran it up from 10 feet away, wouldn't drop. On the breakout, Mike Spicer. Chandler Thompson with a two-handed jam.
Oh, he loved that one.
I mean, he took off from outside the block and just whammed it down while exploding to the hoop. Thompson was 17, 70-48. We talked about him pregame. We talked about Sanders Scott also. Couldn't hit the three. Well, they're running at will now. In the middle, Curtis Kidd. Muscle. Got it home. Charlie Coles needs a timeout. This thing is really starting to get out of hand now.
When the horses are running, you throw water on them.
Wow, and they are in full gallop right now in Muncie.
Yeah, I am surprised that Charlie Coles hasn't said, let's take a little break here and see what we can come up with, at least slow him down.
Scotty Thurman shoots up the deuce, not there. On the breakout again. Chandler Thompson will pull it back. In the middle, Sean Parrish with a finger roll.
Ball State calls the timeout.
Well, actually, it's going to be our, I believe, TV timeout. Oh, they're ready to celebrate here in Muncie. The throng of 6,000 smells it. Second consecutive MAC championship, just 3:07 away. All Ball State. Time where the Ball State Cardinals will reign as king of this Mid-America Conference. Next weekend up at Cobo Arena, the showdown in Motown, the top men and women's clubs. Be there, be a part of all the excitement. You can get tickets by calling the number you saw on your screen. Dick Hunsaker getting a lot of new faces into the contest right now as things have really blown up in his direction. Dennis Kahn tries to answer with that half hook off the baseline. 74-50, Ball State on top by 22. Rodney Haynes handling the basketball right now into the contest. David Barber also in for Ball State.
These are backcourt seniors, by the way, playing their last game in Muncie, Indiana.
Baseline, Roman Mueller. Crowd wants all these young men who don't see a lot of playing time to get on the board. Barber's going to, rather Sean Parrish will shoot up the jumper inside the triple line. Didn't go. On the run the other way is Schneider for Central Michigan. Had it slapped loose and out of bounds. Scott Bolts is checking in for Scott Parrish. Bolts, a 6'8 senior from Crawfordsville, Indiana. Took the place of Keith Stolling, who has been down with a knee on Ball State's roster. And the Cardinals now just 2 minutes away from putting a cap on their MAC championship for the second consecutive year. They're calling it, of course, back-to-back here in Muncie, and why not? 74-50, all Ball State. Rodney Haynes thought about the three. Oh, triple tries filled up by David Barber. That's an NBA three. What a moment for that young man.
David Barber from Muncie.
The senior out of Muncie hit the big-time three. Kirk Van Dusen in the middle for Central Michigan. Didn't get a roll. Scott Bolts pulled it out of there. Pass stolen away now. Schneider sends David Carter to the window the other way for Central Michigan. So David Carter trying to add a little bit more luster on this final outcome for Central Michigan. 77-52.
You're looking at the team out on the court now. All the abuse night in and night out. Can you imagine having to practice against these guys day in and day out? And here is a little bit of their acclaim. They could come in here play some minutes, put some minutes on the time clock. Mainly, the thing of it is, you got to pat them on the back because they stuck through this every night in and night out, and that is a lot of work and a lot of time away from your family, a lot of time away from your books, and they've been willing to sacrifice for Ball State University.
Well, this young man, not a senior, just a sophomore, Mike Ginta out of Carmel, Indiana. 6'4", 195-pounder, second year in the Ball State program. As everyone getting a chance to taste some time this afternoon in what will be the second MAC regular season championship in a row for the Ball State Cubs. Ginta hits 2 for 2 from the line. We're inside a minute, 79:52. The explosion is going to start here in Muncie soon. I tell you what, Ginta really got up on the square and took that one out of the air. Goaltending on Mike Ginta.
And Mike Ginta, he's got 3 years left here, and you can see a lot of basketball out of him.
David Barber just got banged around and drew the personal foul from David Carter, so Barber's going to go to the line. Senior out of Daleville, as Luke pointed out, right here in Muncie, Indiana. Charlie Coles is going to go into the MAC tournament at 6 and 10, and now he is just going to have to wait. It will be pretty elementary if Toledo handles Western Michigan this afternoon in Savage Hall in Toledo, and that one tipped off just about 10 minutes ago. Toledo would wind up 7 and 9 with that win, and Central Michigan would slide down to 6 and 10, and more than likely in that 7th seed, which would bracket them opposite Kent State.
And I think at this point in time, they would rather see Kent State, that they had a very good game against Wednesday. They were in that basketball game, as Charlie Coles was telling us before this match, right till the final seconds.
Dave Barber now has 5 as he's hit his three-pointer and 2 free throws. Just stole it and threw it away. Ray Schneider for the 3. Pulled out of there by David Barber, Ball State. 40 seconds left, 81-54 Cardinals on top. Rodney Haynes will shoot the triple. Didn't get the roll. Banging around on the offensive glass. A lot of white shirts out of there comes Central Michigan. Colbert. Big time, high, arching rainbow that nestles through the cords for 3. 81-57. Only the final numbers are in doubt here right now in Muncie. From the baseline, Rodney Haynes for 3. Filled it up.
They've got everybody they wanted in the scorebook.
Snyder goes to the hoop. Offensive foul on Central Michigan as everybody has hit the books. Rodney Haynes and David Barber. Look at those two young men hugging down there. And how about the Ball State bench?
They've
Curtis
been standing the last couple minutes just from the excitement of it. They clinched it. They have the MAC title outright.
There it is. It's all over for the second consecutive season. The Cardinals of Ball State, as Dick Hunsinger just got dumped on by Paris McCurdy with the water bucket, are the MAC champions here in University Gym. There you see the excitement. We'll come back to capture more of it. 84-57. Ball State reigns supreme, beating Central Michigan. We will pause for a break in the action.
84-57 victory over the Central Michigan Chippewas. We will be right back after this break.
Joining me now on the floor to make the championship trophy presentation is University President Dr. John Worthen.
State University, a very rollicking time for this man, the athletic director at Ball State, Mr. Don Purvis. Don, first time in a long time, back-to-back MAC championships in basketball. Has to be a very proud moment indeed for all concerned.
Well, it is indeed. It's very satisfying, and certainly
the credit goes to the coaching staff and the young men who represent Ball State so well on the court. We're just as pleased and proud of them as we possibly could be.
Dick Hunsaker came in here and now has become the winningest first-year coach, Don, in the history of a storied Mid-American Conference. And let's face it, the young man came in with a lot of expectations on his back. If he didn't win a MAC championship, things were going to be said because he had a great deal of talent coming back.
That's true. We did have returning talent. I think the expectations throughout our university and throughout our community were quite high, and those are indeed the most difficult of circumstances under which to undertake your first head coaching job. But certainly Dick did so in an exemplary manner, and the Cardinals are champions once again.
Tough to repeat, but next week, the showdown in Motown with Paris McCurdy and Curtis Kidd and Scott Nichols going home to Detroit. That has to mean a lot.
It does indeed, and certainly it'll be difficult to repeat there as well. But for right now, we're going to enjoy this afternoon, and we'll worry about next week.
Okay, Don, let's talk to Dick Hunsaker. Coach, congratulations. Outstanding win, wrapping up this second consecutive MAC championship. Maybe the most thrilling and most satisfying moment in Dick Hunsaker's coaching career.
Well, very gratifying, but I've certainly been blessed with some outstanding players, and think that the foundation of the program I took over from Rick Majerus. We played with tremendous heart. We have the foundation in place as far as the toughness and rebounding, and today's game was just exemplified this ball club for the past 2 years, and its balance. You don't know where it's come from, but I thought our bench was outstanding, and the seniors were a bit jittery, and that emotion I could just see from last night. I'm sure there was a lot of sleep and the emotion before the game, and I thought it carried over. But again, our hearts were there, and we finished. And it is just a great thing that to think I was I think I was in the first grade. These kids weren't even born the last time a team repeated.
Dick Hunsaker, 2 weeks ago today, the loss up at Savage Hall in Toledo. It seemed to get things back refocused, back in the flow of things, if you will. Since that time, you've played outstanding basketball.
I don't remember that loss. Do you?
I just bring it up because since that time, you've been on a roll.
Well, we played well, and we need to put a string together for getting a much more consistency for our performance. And Toledo played a great game. I will not take anything away from Toledo in that performance up there, and all the credit belongs to them.
All right, Dick, congratulations. Best of luck next week up in Detroit.
Thank you.
Okay, Dick Hunsaker now, the winningest first-year coach in MAC history. Ball State wraps up their second consecutive MAC regular season title, 84-57 over Central Michigan. Back in a moment. And a look at Athletic Director of Ball State, Mr. Don Purvis, presenting the championship trophy to the president of Ball State University, emblematic of the second consecutive MAC regular season title won with this outstanding group of basketball talent, the Ball State Cardinals. And when I say outstanding group of basketball talent, here's three seniors that are going to go try to defend the showdown in Motown next week.
Yeah.
We got them all in here. Scotty Nichols now. We got four. So we got Scotty Nichols along with Paris McCurdy, Curtis Kidd, Sean Parrish, the big man Roman Mueller, Billy Butts. Well, now, they're saying homeboys in Detroit because three of them are going back here to the hometown.
Oh, yeah.
And they're coming back into that showdown in Motown. What's it going to feel like next week going back to look to repeat, guys?
Homecoming. It's going to feel great. We're going to work hard. We got next week to prepare. We got Ohio U.
Ohio U first.
We're just going to come on hard, one game at a time. That's it.
I just mentioned Dick Hunsaker. You guys had the misfortune. You came up with a bad ball game a couple of weeks ago against Toledo. But since that time, you've been on a tremendous run. Did you almost kind of rededicate things to take a look at things at that point?
Well, a lot of people didn't know we had so many injuries, and our team was disrupted just like the whole season. So as of late, everybody got back healthy, and, everything's been clicking.
Billy Butts, let me get Billy Butts in here. Billy, from right here in Muncie, Indiana, the hometown guy. Billy, what did this mean to you coming up now with your 2 years here at Ball State, back-to-back championships?
It's a great feeling to be a winner, and before I came to Ball State, I wasn't a winner. I didn't experience winning. I came to Ball State, got with the Little Rock connection, and we won 2 championships.
Little Rock.
Let me ask you guys about Dick Hunsaker. He comes in here, he pretty much, Rick Majerus let him run things very much on the practice floor here for the last couple of years. How much did that mean in him stepping in now as a head coach for you this year?
I think it meant a lot. I think Coach Majerus was actually preparing
Coach Hunsaker for a head coaching position somewhere. And fortunately for us and for Ball State, we had Coach Hunsaker to come in and take control.
Harris McCurdy, everybody's going to be coming after you next week. There's no question about that. That makes it want to go a little bit harder?
Oh, no question. Everybody wants to come out and beat Ball State. But we know what we're in for, and we know what we have to do to prepare for it, so we're going to do that.
All right. A fine group of 9 seniors here at University Gym in Muncie. Champions all. Congratulations, guys, on the MAC championship. Okay. All right. Ball State beats East Central Michigan 84-57. They have to try to defend next weekend in the showdown in Motown, Detroit Scobo Arena, the MAC postseason tournament. Michael Regai along with Luke Whitty. Another extraordinary display of basketball, both ends of the floor from Dick Hunsaker's Cardinals.
Unbelievable. You know, the thing of it is, you take Dick Hunsaker's team, and they have been transition basketball club. They stick to it on the defensive end, and you see them do so many things correctly. Their defensive power, you know, they come in here, and they were pushing Central Michigan out like 30 feet a lot of the times, and they just didn't have the opportunity to go in there and penetrate like they wanted to.
There you see the spoils of victory as it is. The Ball State Cardinals, a lot of the seniors. We just talked to those two gentlemen, the Bash brothers from the Motors. Look, that has to be a great feeling, those two guys. And Scott Nichols, too, the point guard, going home to play in Detroit Scobo Arena after spending their high school days there at Cooley High School in Detroit under a great coach, Ben Kelso.
Well, the thing of it is, anytime you can go home to play basketball, you get yourself into a really excited state and ready to go home and show people that you've done something while you've been away.
They certainly have done something. That is unquestionable. Central Michigan only 37% from the floor. They really went cold in the second half, 19-51, while Ball State fired it up at 60%. And Luke, when you said it, the horses got out of the barn in the second half. Ball State really turned this thing into a track meet. Too much speed, power, and finesse for Central to stay with.
Speed, power, and finesse. You hit it right on the nose, because one of the things that Dick Hunsaker wanted to do, and one of the things that he had talked about, he wanted the team to have poise, and this team had poise. They came down on their fast break transition basketball. They did it where they were supposed to. The passes were crisp, they were nice, they were to the people where they needed to have them on the court, and that's one of the things that is a real positive when you have any type of transition game, because a lot of times it ends up into a horse race with uncontrollable horses. Dick Hunsaker has poise and controllable horses, and they do the job the way that's supposed to be done.
17 Chandler Thompson points and 10 from Billy Butts and Emmanuel Cross paced the 84-57 Ball State win over Central Michigan this afternoon. We're going to come back and conclude this MAC championship day for the Cardinals. Stay with us, please.